Here's a really fun Bible nugget. All these like kind of beautiful hidden gems in the Bible that just kind of show a bigger story. When Jesus Christ rose from the dead, the graves opened up and others rose from the dead as well, right? That blew people's minds when they first heard that. But now we're all saying, yeah, that's a great story, right? But there's more to it. There's more to it. The whale right there, right? What does Jesus say? He says in many verses, a wicked and adulterous generation will look for a sign, but they shall not receive it. They shall only receive the sign of Jonah. All right, so we do know that guy who got swallowed up by the whale and spit out, which is interesting in these end times, but that's not what the sign of Jonah is. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed. Let's look at the other time he says it. Then some of the scribes and Pharisees told Jesus, Teacher, we want to see a sign from you. But he replied to them, An evil and adulterous generation craves a sign, yet no sign will be given to it except for the sign of the prophet Jonah. Because just as Jonah was in the stomach of the sea creature for 3 days and 3 nights, so the Son of Man will be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. But check this out. The men of Nineveh will stand up at the judgment and condemn the people living today because they repented at the preaching of Jonah. The people who repented at the preaching of Jonah and the preaching of Jonah, all the people who repented and turned from their ways before the cross. What does it say in Peter? That when Jesus was buried, he went down and preached to the people in Sheol, in Gehenna, in hell. He went and ministered to those spirits and he brought them up, the ones that repented, right? So all the graves that opened up on the day when Jesus Christ rose from the dead, and also remember Ecclesiastes 1:9, there's no new thing in the sun. That's what was done before shall be done again. What does it say? Concerning those that are asleep, the dead in Christ shall rise first. There's no new thing under the sun. So this happened when Jesus rose from the dead rose, the graves opened up. Are these the men of Nineveh, the men of Nineveh, the people who repented and the people who, when Jesus went and ministered to them, he's saying, yep, you repented. It was a judgment on that day. Could living today, because remember, Jesus said a lot of time, this generation shall not pass. But right here, clearly living today. Because they repented at the preaching of Jonah. When Jesus Christ rose from the dead, the graves opened up, and then he also went down and he ministered to the spirits in Sheol and hell and brought them up to the third heaven with him. The men of Nineveh who repented, stood up on this day. Interesting, huh?